Mr. President, Mr. Governor, and your fellow governor colleagues and cabinet secretaries, indeed all the protocol observed. What a day. If Jeff Koinange was here, he would say, what an event. I agree with Bishop Martin Kevuva. Kweli Bishop unekuiye. It has rained and it will continue to rain. Let me, Mr. President, say very briefly that as Victor Monyaka has observed, the original vision was to get Machakos, at least under the colonialists, to be the capital of this country. But because we didn't have enough water, they went around. In fact, the name Nairobi means a place of fresh water. And that's how Nairobi beat Machakos, I said. Now, with the young visionary leadership of Governor Mutua, I think Governor Kidero had better watch out because the capital is likely to move here. Some half-hearted attempts were made about the river and the EPZ, and some quite investment took place there. That's why I think Governor Mutua ended up with Dr. Dao, representing the minority community, to be a member of the county executive, and because we want to give that face of the nation. And now Konza City. President Kibaki and I launched Konza City, like you're launching this Machakos City today. I want to strongly suggest, because that city is in the neighboring county of Makueni, under the able leadership again of Professor Kivutha Kibwana. I will be their good ambassador. I'll go to Dubai, I'll go everywhere so that Mutua does not beat Kibwana. And even as I do that, I will make sure that my own governor is Dr. Malombe, an old friend and colleague, trying very much in the neighboring county of Kitui, but he needs your assistance, Mr. President. He needs you to give him that road, Kibwezi Kitui, and Kitui become even more advantageous, perhaps even more competitive than Machakos and Makueni put together, because he's the richest. You saw the call. My challenge to him is move with speed. Whatever is holding the exploitation of the coal deposits in Kitui County must be gotten rid of. We have to fight poverty in real terms, as my sister Charity Ngilo has said, because this is very important. This is very important. It's no time to waste. Therefore, this has come about because of a new constitution. We have a constitution which I hold to be the very best, the best anywhere in the world. Because if it was not for this new constitution, Governor Mutua's vision would never even have started to be realized. And therefore, I want to tell you that from the point of view of the Wiper Democratic Movement, of course, in competition with Jubilee, Mr. President, this is why, with your permission, I will allow you to go and have a Jubilee rally. And I said I will join you here for this very important thing, because this is one country. Just like I said, I called you. The only time I called President Uhuru in recent times was when I was observing elections in the northern province of Sri Lanka. And then Westgate happened. I felt so sad about it. He lost family members. And I had to call him. And I called the Prime Minister. And I said, please, this is now Kenya under attack. And I think that was the right thing. You appreciate it. In fact, the President was so kind. I didn't get him on the first line. But he called back. Your secretary is wonderful. She called back. And then we were able to speak. That is how a nation should behave. We are going to be the reality of our new democratic dispensation, with minority leaders and majority leaders. Both of them are my brothers. I will be shouting sometimes, Mr. President, very loudly, at Duale, my good neighbor. That does not mean I hate him. And therefore, please, some of these gutter press, stop speculating. At Kalonzo amempigia Uhuru simu usiku midnight. I don't operate that way. I am more principled than that. But when it comes to issues of national importance like this one, we stand together. And therefore, I bring greetings of Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, your other bigger brother. I had hoped that William Ruto was going to come with you, my younger brother. I still hold the view that both of you, one time, these two wonderful people are saying, please continue playing the role of a bigger brother. I'll play that role until Jesus Christ comes back for us. And this is why, with your permission, I want to suggest, because this has brought a bit of regional tension, and I saw the statement by your brother, President Kikwete, in Dodoma, and this reminded me what I did. I was, when the collapse of the community took place in 1977, I was in 1993 privileged to be the chair of the first ministerial commission that was tasked with the responsibility of reviving the community. And I recall my friend, Minister Regasira of Tanzania, Minister Rugunda, and I was their chair. We recommended that we move with speed back to Arusha. And therefore, I want to suggest very strongly that, and I want to congratulate President Kikwete for saying Tanzania will never move out of the East African community, because it is good for business. Dr. Alfred Mutua and your vision here will be very happy to get East Africans together. And therefore, I personally look forward to the time, maybe later this year, when you declare a common monetary policy, so that we have one East African currency again, like we used to have the shilling. We need to develop this wonderful market. Mr. President, those are my remarks. And as Prime Minister Raila said, we keep on calling him Prime Minister because there's none other after him. And so don't get annoyed. I'm Vice President because William is a deputy. I was a vice. So this is a reality. And you're all brothers. Kwa hivyo, I want to say devolution is wonderful. Governor Mutua, you have all my support. If you look at Governor Mutua and I, don't we look alike? I want to suggest, you have mentioned here, Dr. Dow, the list of investors. I want to bring another special investor who is going to invest in the best football stadium in this country. Let it be here. A lot of you don't know, Mr. President, I'm sure you don't know, because I've not seen you play football. But I am the patron of Sofapaka. Actually, I'm praying that they beat AFC Leopards, and so that they can become number 2 to Gor Mahia. I saw Gor Mahia celebrating after 18 years. Sofapaka, as their patron, I want to suggest, and I'll go everywhere with you, to get investors to come up with a world class, because sports have become a major issue in the world economy today. And Sofapaka then will come and host, will become the home club of Machakos County, if this meets with your approval. Therefore, back to the East African community. The Prime Minister and myself have actually said we will talk, we will help you, Mr. President, because it's important. And I know that this community business cannot be allowed to get off the rails. If you allow us, we'll be there at the background, talking to your brother, President Kikwete, to President Museveni. I know you're already talking to him, so that we can actually fast-track integration. Because integration in East Africa is something we cannot allow to get away. The media, I know you've been addressed so many times about the media. If I'm not wrong, allow me to let this off, because even a president has to invest. Because these days in this country, you're told if you don't have anything, you can't run for presidency. I think Mr. President is an investor in the media himself. Therefore, the freedom of the media, I really want to suggest, as Charles Nyachai has advised on the present status of what has happened in Parliament. Some of my own party members thought I was talking about them when I said the 11th Parliament is not doing as well as the 10th Parliament, because the 10th Parliament gave us a new constitution. The 11th Parliament has to continue that way. I didn't mean, in fact, my own party members know very well that bills are originated, the Attorney General, they come to Cabinet, eventually it is the President. And knowing you, I know you will not attempt to sign that bill into law because you have said it. And therefore, I'm here as your brother to encourage you not to go that way, because I don't want you to leave a bad legacy. Because at the end of the day, it's only Charity Ngilu who feels I should have been president. Thank you so much, my sister. Na Charity ngakulu na azia mafta bwengite ndeli ingilasio mwene. Enda kwa sio. That is a slip of a tongue, but don't worry. We are still around. We are one people, one nation, one great nation. And a nation, as the president says the other day, under God. Therefore, let us really give priority to these bishops, and when they say they are the conscience of this nation, Wiper Democratic Movement will continue to strengthen itself and to be a very vibrant coalition member of the opposition. So, Mr. President, work hard, strengthen Jubilee, so that we, again, I think this country is the leader in Africa when it comes to the practice of democracy. And when things move that way, people should avoid confusion. I will speak to Senator Johnston Muthama, and I have to convince him, because I'm his party leader. Na ndumaya leku manasiangua hadharani kanatiwo. Isitoko nena, isitasi isukumbu. I'm sure Mr. President, you have spoken to Cabinet Secretary Koskei. He is now converted because he is here. He has bought your vision. He has bought Alfred Mutua's vision. And I know that Machakos is going to rise. This country is going to rise. Just make sure that Konza City also begins. And Professor Kibwana, you know what you have discussed. We will move with all the speed to be able to realize the dream of Konza City. And of course, Jubilee government will continue support. In 2017, Mr. President, you can claim some credit. That is proper. Even as we say, what Mutua is doing is my own vision. The 24-hour working economy. Governor Mutua, when this city is in place, there shall be no insecurity in Machakos. We will lock up the criminals because Mutua has certain capabilities around this area. And therefore, as you develop this city, inbuilt capacity to make sure that this city will be the safest city in Africa. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Mr. President, thank you for coming. It is good to see you again. Alfred, come and unveil your vision. I think this Dubai thing had some miracle effect on you. Thank you.